So, I've had a monumental realization in my life. If I'm gonna go through all 300 plus games in my library that I haven't completed, I should probably have a ranking system of some sort. After much thought and consideration, I figured out that there's just no system that shows more order and efficiency than the good old US school system. Anyone who says differently are just liars. I'm differing from the system just a little by adding an F plus to the rankings, that way I can have 6 letter grades on either side of C, making it truly average. If a game makes my top 10 list, then it'll get an A+. So how about Abyss Odyssey, eh? So you start off in Peru or Argentina or Chile or some Spanish country. There's a bunch of holes that have opened up in the country, and it's up to you, the beautiful Catrian, to venture into the abyss and stop the quote-unquote nightmarish creatures within. Right from the get-go, you're thrust in with a joke of a tutorial that tells you basically nothing about the actual mechanics of the game. Good, off to a great start. So, after checking the help and options page a couple of times, you feel a bit better, but there's this weird special abilities upgrade thing that keeps coming up, and you only have one ability and only one button to activate them. Finally, you unlock your second ability and realize that you can change what ability to do based on the direction you are pressing. But wait, what are these checkpoints? Unlocked with camp tokens? Where do I get those? Wait, why am I spawning as a monster in certain level transitions? It's easy to see why there are a lot of reviews on Steam that report getting turned off because they just couldn't get into the game. Now, I could see if it was like Dark Souls, you know, the pinnacle of gaming, where it fit in with the game world, but really there's just not a lot of explanation, or maybe there was and I just skipped over it. So this is a bit abrupt, but I couldn't find anywhere else in the script to put it, but I want to say now that playing as enemies in between the levels means that you can now capture that enemy's soul and transform into them once you're in the abyss, effectively giving you a second health bar and a whole new moveset. It's a really cool mechanic, and in co-op, which can be done local or online, which I appreciate, couch co-op games always have my love. You are marked so as to not get accidentally hit. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the meat of the game, the combat. So at first, I was highly frustrated by the combat. It just didn't click with me. However, once I entered the abyss from the third hub area, which spawns you directly into the moderate hard areas, something just activated in me. I almost got to the final boss right then. There's like 20 or 30 enemies in this game, and all the pricks of the game spawn in the easy areas, which is odd to me. The rest of the enemies have unique movesets and animations, and I don't feel like they're copies of each other. It kept the game feeling fresh and interesting even on my 6th or 7th run of the Abyss. It helps that the scenery changes a bit with each biome. Granted, I would like to see more gameplay changes with each biome, but what they have feels okay. It's kinda like the minimum amount, just barely past that critique with me. Jungle biome has poison and plant traps. Lava biome has lava. Stone biome has moving blocks, but it would have been nice to see a bit more. Perhaps utilize the moving spike blocks to add some puzzle solving. Now the story is simple. A warlock is sleeping, his dreams are entering the physical realm. We gotta stop him. Right from the get-go, you know that final boss is going to be that puppy resting in the big cave, and you gotta pick your bro to stop him. Except for you only have one bro to begin with. One is unlocked a little bit too far into character progression to make you want to switch characters, and another costs 25,000 gold to unlock. So kinda like the Matrix game, only people that really like this game will want to go through with other characters. So when I unlocked the Soul Boy, I figured I was too far into Catrian to play him, but when it gets down to it, the game is really smart at how it throws enemies at you. I'm not sure about this, but it feels like enemy damage and health all scales with your level. The enemies I faced in the beginning were the same amount of dangerous as at the end of the game. An example of this is the devil who plays the violin. If you make a deal with him, he'll say he'll hunt you. I was really excited about this, but I beat him in like 6 seconds flat. At first I was let down, but after getting to the final boss, I get it. This game isn't an RPG. The devs want you to get good, not get grind. This is what makes the AI so interesting. The AI is programmed to only fight one at a time, not in a group. They'll literally wait their turn until you're done with their buddy, then send the next one in. It took me a long time to realize this, because I just charged in each encounter. That's when they attack you 2 or 3 at a time. Other than that, they have some sort of like honor system, I guess. I'm not complaining. It feels like it's an oversight, but it's a good one. Each enemy is challenging enough to have at least 3 moves to learn, so taking one at a time still feels slightly fair until the end of the game when you've mastered Catrian and all her movesets. I'd also like to say that the art in this game is great. It's also interesting to see that the warlock himself changes based on something? I'm not sure. In the end, it was a fun little run that entertained me for about 5 hours, and I could see myself going back with the other two characters at a later time. I'd also like to mention that I beat the game on a keyboard and mouse. Even though most reviews say it requires a controller, I honestly just felt that the keyboard and mouse worked better. I don't know why, it just clicked with me. In the end, I'm giving Abyss Odyssey a solid B+. I would say that it'd be worth a buy at about $7, maybe $10 at most. It's saying something if this game has intrigued me onto the other games that the studio has made. In fact, one of their games, The Deadly Tower of Monsters, just seems like it was made perfectly for me, so I might actually be picking that one up later. The game studio has a lot of cool ideas, and they've proven to me that they're definitely not the worst at implementing them, so who knows? Next up, I've got Age of Wonders 3, and after that, I'll be going straight into Alien Isolation. It's gonna be fun.